Hello everyone, welcome back to Simulated Heaven, and we are in a farm simulator. We are not in Farm Simulator, we're in a farm simulator. This game is called Real Farm, and when I was offered a key for this game I thought, ooh, this could be an interesting game to try out, because those of you that have watched my videos a fair bit, you'll know that I've said in the past I'm not a big fan of the Farm Simulator series, purely because I feel that they're not really pushing the boundaries. If you consider how much they are earning out of that game, they're not really, I don't really feel they're reinvesting in the genre as much as they ought to be, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, of course. But so that kind of leaves the door ajar for a game to swoop in there and to offer a superior farm simulator experience. Now the question is that game going to be Real Farm? Well, we're going to find out during this video. So I've been playing the game for roughly about 4 hours or so, and I thought I would kind of give you a first impressions video. Now, first of all, talking about the graphics. Environmental graphics are pretty okay, pretty decent, but certainly not really anything genre leading, you know. But they do work. The optimization, excuse me, is actually pretty okay. But it certainly isn't anything amazing. The modelling is along a similar theme. It's pretty decent, you know, reasonably detailed, but it isn't anything genre-bending amazing, you know. And I think that the problem is when you're up against Farm Simulator with all its mods, you do, if you are going to have a game like this without any mods, you do have to make sure that your modelling is up to scratch. And you'll see on the interior as well, I mean, again, it's pretty decent. They have made an effort to model the various aspects of the interior, but it isn't anything amazing, but it kind of just does the job. Now you might be wondering why I have this harvester permanently parked here. Well, the reason is I can't work out how to see when my field is ready to be harvested. So I feel like, well, I usually have the time scale on fast, and yet I feel like it's been ages since I've been growing these fields, and yet they still don't seem to be ready for harvest. And I don't see any option on here that shows me when something is ready to be harvested, you know. And I've been spending thousands and thousands of dollars on insecticide, fertilizer, stuff like that, to try to keep this field, you know, the stats high, and yet I still can't harvest it, and I don't even know how much I'm going to earn from that first harvest. It might not even be that much. I don't know. It's a bit weird. So that's why I have this harvester here, because my idea is surely as soon as the field is ready to harvest, it will allow me to then harvest using this. So it kind of gives me some indication about when it is ready, in my opinion. Yeah, now I've been using hired workers quite a lot. When I play these kind of games on my own, I usually only will do the manual work a little bit at the beginning, and then after that I like to use hired workers. Now it is a good thing that this game allows hired workers. I'm going to show you how that works right now. So let me look at the map. I'm going to look at my 3 fields. I'm going to use the mouse. Actually, usually I use a controller, and the Xbox 360 style of controller is working really well with this game. However, I find in the menus, because I can't seem to work out any way of zooming in or out of the map. So what happens is they kind of have this console, if I can even speak, that would be great. Console inspired way of using this icon, but I find it's quite awkward to use the controller to select the field, so I usually try and use the mouse for that. Anyway, I'm trying to find a field that has something wrong with it that I need to fix with a worker. This one, no, I think that's okay. I've already spent thousands on them, so oh, so this field is infested 39%. So I've already, I feel like I've already sprayed insecticide on this field so many times, and yet it's still like going up. I don't know in real life, I don't think that you have to spray them that often. Yeah, so this is how hired workers work, excuse me. So we need to find our equipment, use our equipment to pick up the stuff that is needed, like so. This is going to be a bit tight, isn't it? My driving skill is going to be tested here. There you go. And then we're going to have to pick up the insecticide. Now, I've been finding this, the way this works, I've been finding this a bit annoying, because you have to have the equipment full up 100% before you can use workers, right? So then I've been finding, even I spend quite a lot of money on pesticide, insecticide, fertilizer, whatever it is, I seem to run out quite often, and I find the system kind of annoying of how you buy the various things like this. So let me see, I think I might have actually filled this up. Let's look. No, you see, I've only filled up, there's an icon just above the speedometer, so I've only filled this up like 75%. So I need to go here. That's why I have this vehicle always here, so I can access the farm shop, because seriously, I have to do this loads, right? So I need to buy insecticide. Now, you might say, why don't you just buy the maximum amount that you can? But that will be quite a lot. Like, I don't feel like, you know, every time I usually spend about 1,500 on this, because I feel like I'm using up loads of money on this, and yet that amount of insecticide only seems to last you a short amount of time, which is a little bit strange in my opinion. And it's kind of annoying that I have to do that very often, you know. So let's try to see if we can get the menu back. There you go. So you see, and you know, the whole way it works is kind of cumbersome. It's kind of annoying in my opinion. So I would actually rather that they had a system where you actually had to physically pick up these kind of materials from the farm shop, but you only had to do that fairly rarely. So for example, if you had to physically go and pick up a pallet of fertilizer from the farm shop, that should then last you a fair amount of time. Whereas in this way, I feel like very often I have to keep going back to the shop, buying stuff. You know, it's kind of annoying, and it's kind of immersion breaking. Like when I play these kind of games, I usually would like to feel immersed in the system. So that's one of the ways that, you know, it feels a bit immersion breaking. So this is another thing that I find a bit immersion breaking. So when you want to use hired workers, you basically just need to bring all the stuff onto the field, and you can see there's an option for hire worker. So when I choose that, this is what happens. So yeah, so the equipment vanishes, which is a little bit strange. You get this icon showing you there's a worker in the field. So for me, that is quite a lazy, or, you know, a simple way of implementing hired workers. I would much rather see an actual physical tractor driving up and down in the field, even if they have to at the beginning have some clipping issues or something like that, you know, at least have that at the beginning, you know, because, you know, for me that is a fairly big immersion breaking thing. And then also, what will happen when the job is over, your farm equipment will respawn back in your farm. Now, what was happening when I first started to play this game is all of my equipment was respawning back at the farm shop, and I couldn't work out why. At first I thought it was because I had to rent a lot of it at the beginning, but even when I worked out how to get a load of loans and then I actually purchased all of my own stuff, it still was respawning back at the farm shop. And I think I've worked out that what happens is, after a job is finished, the equipment has to respawn back. You see? Oh, you kind of missed that, but it did respawn back in. And it seems like each equipment has to respawn back in a certain location. And I think at the beginning I had other equipment in that location, therefore that is why it was respawning back at the farm shop. So that's why I've tried to park some stuff over here, look, you know, out of the way, and it seems like at least that stuff is respawning back in the farm normally as now, right now. I say normally, but look at this, the tractor was respawned floating in the air. This thing over here as well is half floating in the air. So firstly, it's a bit immersion breaking that things just respawn back after being used by hired workers. And then as well, you know, the system just doesn't seem very good. Like, if they are going to have this where things have to respawn in certain areas, they should have some kind of marking on the floor that will tell us that, you know, that is a respawn area and not to park anything else there. But I personally would much rather that things just respawn back in the same field where they worked, so that I can then pick them up from here. You know, that would actually make way more sense from my point of view. Something else I found a little bit weird is when I have a look at the market. In the market, it will show me lots of various crops. So you can see that there are icons for corn, canola, you know, various things like that. But the weird thing is, when I go to the seeds, when I actually go into the farm shop thing, here it is, I only have one option for seeds, and when I choose that, I can't actually choose the kind of seeds. It's just one generic option for seeds. I tried to have a look on the map if there are other farm shops that maybe sell other kinds of seeds, but I can't see anything. So I'm a little bit baffled as to why that is. So maybe what happens is it's like random, that the seeds that you plant, maybe you get random crops. I don't actually know as yet, because my first harvest hasn't arrived, and like I said, I've been waiting for this harvest for so long, and I can't seem to work out like what is going on. You know, I can't seem to work out if there's any way of telling when something is harvestable. I just use this combine harvester and hope that it will tell me when something is harvestable, you know. So for me, what I would say in general is I feel like they should have like waited on this game. I feel like they should have actually released this game later. I feel like they have released it early. Yeah, and I'm not able to harvest this, so I have no idea what is going on. I mean, yeah, they are basically trying to compete with farm Simulator. Okay, while I'm talking about this, I'll say that I haven't done any livestock, but I've worked out that I believe you have to buy livestock on the map. There's an area, yeah, so here, that's where you buy livestock. I haven't yet because I don't have a lot of money. I've been spending loads on fertilizer and insecticide, but I haven't had any harvest. I've not actually earned any money. So yeah, so maybe in the future I might be able to buy livestock, but not as yet. So yeah, maybe they need to balance the fertilizer and stuff, so you don't have to spray quite so often, or maybe so the cost of it is not so much. You know, there's quite a lot of small things they need to improve. They need to tweak, and this is why I am saying that I think they have released a little bit early, like too early. Okay, so one thing I've not tried a job board as yet. So let's drive over here and see what happens with these whole job board things. Here we go. So yeah, and the problem that they have is they are trying to compete with Farm Simulator, which is a much more well-rounded, fully developed game that has been around a long time. So they can only really work on making this. And by the way, this is my other field over here, which again I'm waiting so I can harvest it. I have no idea. I feel like I've been waiting forever, but never mind. Okay, we need to go this way. So yeah, so it's like when you look at the price of this game, where I live, this game is about 2/3 of the price of Farm Simulator. However, they recently released 3 DLC. The first one is a potato pack, which will give you all the things that you need for potatoes. I would say, why is that not a part of the base game? I don't see why that needs to be a DLC, in my opinion. They then released another DLC, which is actually the map that I'm on right now. This is the DLC map, and they said that for everyone that owns the game already, that is free, that the map is free, because basically after the game is released they got very negative Steam reviews, and I think they're trying to appease people by allowing them to have the map DLC free. But for the state of the game right now, I feel that their pricing is completely wrong. So they're basically 2/3 of the price of Farm Simulator. They then, for all of the new customers, they would have to buy this map DLC, but of course everyone is going to want the latest stuff, so then that would actually bring the price up to pretty much the same as Farm Simulator. And you cannot really expect that customers are going to be buying this over Farm Simulator, which is a much more well-rounded, further on style of game, if you know what I mean. Like, that game has been around for years. Also, people are going to much rather buy Farm Simulator 15, like an older version of the game, which would actually cost about the same as this game, and again, even an older version of Farm Sim is going to be way more attractive than this game at the moment. So that's why I said I feel like they should have waited on this game, developed it more, and I think they need to lower the price point, and then maybe they might be in a position where they might start to be like a poor man's Farm Sim for people that don't want to actually pay the full amount for Farm Sim, they can then buy this for cheaper. But at the moment, I feel like that the pricing is not quite there, you know, in my opinion again. Okay, I'm not sure if this is going to work. These are the job boards. Okay, so here we go. So, cultivating job, cultivating job, cultivating jobs. All of them are cultivating jobs. Why isn't there any equipment? Bring your own equipment. We're looking for experienced cultivators. Okay, so all of these are cultivating jobs. I just want to see if the job boards work. That's one thing I've not really tried yet. So then we're going to go look at another job board because I want to see if all of them are exactly the same or if they are slightly different. Is this waypoint still here? No. So let's go to the other one. So yeah, that's basically how I feel about this game at the moment. I mean, it's not a bad game, but it's certainly, in my opinion, at the moment, it's not worth what they are asking for it, you know. There's only going to be a very small amount of people that will be buying this over even an older version of Farm Sim. So why not wait, develop the game further, make sure everything works smoothly, even if they have the same features they have right now. But if they were to iron out all of the issues that I have talked about in this video, and then if they were to lower the price so it is, you know, a poor man's version of Farm Sim, I think then they would be in a much better position, you know. And right now is kind of a bad time because there's a lot of competition that is coming out in the farm simulator genre, like cattle and crops has just come out in early access on Steam. We've also got a few other farming games that are in the works, you know, that are coming out in the not too distant future. Okay, here's the other board. I just want to see if, no, cultivating job. So all of them are cultivating jobs. Every single job on these boards are cultivating jobs. Fabulous. Isn't that just fabulous? I don't want to actually do the jobs because I think that would be kind of boring on this video. Basically, it would just be you watching me cultivating a field, and I'm sure if you want to see how the actual farming works in this game, then there's loads of other videos out there on YouTube that you could watch. I just want to see. But look, you know, that's another example. It's just they should have waited on this game. They should have released it when it's more, you know, more ready. So what we're going to do, we're going to enter vehicle, we're going to go back to the farm. I'm just going to mark on the map just to make sure I don't go the wrong way. Move. Yes. It's here, right? Yeah. We're going to go back to the farm, we're going to sleep, and we're going to see if our fields are ready for harvest. That'll be the last thing that I'll do in this video. But yeah, I don't really expect that I'll be making any more videos on this game unless there's a big change or big improvement. Yeah, that's kind of where I stand right now on this game. And in my opinion, it's kind of a opportunity lost. And one of the issues that I have, I mean, a lot of developers are coming out these days and saying, oh, it's early access, you know, we're bringing out a game early and we're going to work on the game with the players, blah blah blah. But the problem is, once the game is out and once the game actually gets a reputation, you know, it's very hard to change that reputation. So when this game has already got very negative reviews on Steam, so in my opinion it's going to be very hard for them to come back from that. So even if they were to improve this game loads, you know, it's going to be very hard to come back from that. And that is my major issue with early access. There's so many of these games that come out early that get a bad rap, and then it's very hard to then survive after that. I would much rather that these games were worked on more before they are actually brought out for people to buy. You know, whenever anyone has to pay money for anything, even when you say it's early access, blah blah blah, and have loads of warnings on the game, you're always going to get these people that are going to leave bad Steam reviews and things like that. So I still don't see anything that's saying it's ready. I feel like I've been waiting for so long for this field, and like I said before, I've been spraying so much stuff on these fields, spending thousands and thousands. I've been waiting forever, and I still am not getting the option to harvest. Right? It's so strange, and there's no like indication about how much longer it will take, you know, to wait until it's ready to harvest. It's just yet another thing about this game. Okay, so no. Unfortunately, I'm not able to show you guys any harvesting, but anyway. So, thanks for watching this video, and if you have any specific questions about this game, please leave a comment in the comment section below. Thank you, and goodbye.